Xbox gets an early access bundle for MLB The Show. IGN puts out a chart missing a big feature comparing the different subscription services, and Twitter is coming back to the Xbox dashboard. So MLB The Show, as we know, is a first-party PlayStation game developed by Sony San Diego. It's an incredible baseball game, and before last year, it was exclusive to the PlayStation platform, and then last year it also came out on Xbox, and this year it's coming out as well on the Nintendo Switch. But last year, it also got launched into Xbox Game Pass on day one, but was not a part of any of the PlayStation subscriptions, and we know this is happening again this year, at least unless they come up with a surprise announcement between now and the day of its release. But they've already shown off the April PlayStation Plus games, and MLB The Show is nowhere to be found. Now, what else is very interesting, kind of funny when you look at it, that Xbox is also getting an exclusive early access deal for Game Pass members. So this game is not only a first-party Sony game coming out on Xbox into Game Pass on day one, there is also another incentive here for Xbox gamers to purchase the game on Xbox. And the bundle here costs $49.99, and it gives you access to the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X and S versions of the game early, so you'll be able to jump in on Friday, April 1st. And then on top of that, you're going to get access to 2 gold choice packs, 10 show packs, 1 ball player pack, and a double daily login rewards and 10K stubs. They say here, for Xbox Game Pass subscribers interested in playing MLB The Show 22 during early access, this is for you. Purchasers of MLB The Show 22 Xbox Game Pass Early Access Bundle will get access to MLB The Show 22 on Xbox One, the Xbox Series X and S on April 1st, 2022, 4 days early, as well as additional items. And what's curious about it as well is that if you're actually not a Game Pass subscriber, you can buy this, but you're not going to get access to the game early. So there's just that additional perk of getting access to the game, which is crazy because they're using a first-party PlayStation game to push Game Pass, to get people to sign up to Xbox Game Pass who are interested in playing MLB The Show, to be able to play early and then get that additional content. Now, to be fair, this isn't a very good deal. It's not a very enticing deal because there is a big drawback to this, and it is the fact that you will only get access to the game while it's included in Xbox Game Pass, even if you go ahead and purchase this. But I mean, if you look at MLB The Show 21, it was in Xbox Game Pass up until the release of MLB The Show 22, and I'm assuming going forward, if all of these future MLB The Show games are going to be into Xbox Game Pass, this is the way it's going to go down. But still, it would have been much better if you could still keep this game forever after. So I don't know how many people are going to take up this deal, but if you want the game early, you want all of the extra stuff for your Diamond Dynasty, this is a deal that is available. I think the funny and interesting thing here, though, is that it's an Xbox Game Pass deal. And this is a game that should be day one on PlayStation, through PlayStation Now, through PlayStation Plus, in one of their subscription services. And it's, again, another reason why when Jim Ryan says that they can't put their games into subscription services day one because it will reduce the quality, I personally think he's lying about that. I talked about that in my video yesterday, where we look at how the quality doesn't go down with the Metacritic scores of Xbox games, of Forza Horizon 5, of Halo Infinite, those games, and Psychonauts 2. Like, all of these games did very, very well. Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'm sure I'm missing another one, but all these games had very, very high Metacritic scores that Xbox actually won Metacritic Publisher of the Year, and they were all day one in Xbox Game Pass. So the quality thing, I believe, is a lie. It's an excuse. It's a reason why you don't want to put your games into a subscription service day one, so that you can double dip on your customers, so they go out and pay for the game full price and sign up for the subscription service. All right, jumping over here to a decision that has been reversed that I think will make a lot of people happy. So they were testing out on the Xbox Insider updates about sharing clips, and they had taken away the actual ability to share a clip directly from your Xbox dashboard to Twitter. You would have to click your share feed, and then it would send a notification to your phone on the Xbox app, and then you could share the clip, the screenshot, all that type of stuff to multiple various social media accounts. Well, a lot of people were annoyed about that. I was like, whatever. I generally share all of my clips via my phone anyways. I don't generally do it right from the dashboard, so I wasn't that annoyed about it. But enough people were that they're actually reversing the decision, and they are going to bring back the ability to share clips and screenshots directly from your Xbox dashboard right to Twitter. Brad Rossetti, the Xbox Insider program lead, commented on this saying, Part 2 flight plans, planning on taking a new 2204 build to the beta ring later today with details to come. Thanks for your feedback on the Twitter share feature change we flighted in 2204. That change is being reverted to the previous behavior from today in this new build. So, I mean, there you go. If people are upset with something that Xbox does with changes like this, the best thing to go about is just kind of explain why you want it reversed, and they listen. Xbox is very transparent. They have been for a very long time now, especially with the release of the Xbox Series X and S, and enough people were annoyed with this change that they've brought it back to the original feature. And you go down through here, the comments, you can see people just replying and being happy about it. This person says, this is great news. People have been sharing to Twitter directly for years. It's such a good feature. Glad it's not being taken away. Any reason why it was removed in the first place feels out of touch with what users want. Then the response here is, they have data on how people are using the feature. My guess, it's not that popular. Loud vocal minority convinced them to keep it though, which is good for folks who use it. I mean, that is probably along the right lines of why this happened. Is they have data that probably isn't that many people that use it. Most people probably use it directly from their phone, such as the way I do it. But taking it away, it will annoy people, which they obviously don't want to do, and leaving it there doesn't really do anything bad to the system itself. It doesn't make it worse. It doesn't hamper it, doesn't slow it down. So why take it away? This is why they do these insider releases first, to let people play around with it, the alpha releases, and just see what their feedback is. And if things aren't good, you tell them it's not good, and they generally go ahead and listen to that and change it if enough people care. This person says here, good, now overhaul the sharing UI. And the response is, overall, the UI in general, I don't know. I don't think the UI on Xbox is that bad. I actually don't mind it at all. Prefer it much more than the PS5 UI. And I mean, it's the same as it was on Xbox One, pretty much. They've added extra features. They've made it smoother and all that type of stuff. But I mean, it's the UI that functions and works relatively well. They can upgrade it and always make it better, but I don't think there needs to be an entire overhaul of it. This person says, yes, this is why I love you guys. You listen. But overall, the sentiment is people are happy that they are bringing this back. And I think it's a good thing overall, because removing it doesn't really do anything, but leaving it there for the people that use it is the right choice. And finally, we got here something that is kind of wild, because you would think that this would not be forgotten when comparing the subscription services. So IGN put out this article and they posted on Twitter this table comparing all of the different subscription services. Now they go through everything, literally everything: tiers, price per year, family plan, additional perks, access to older games, game trials, exclusive discounts, and cloud saves. Yet seemingly somehow they missed literally the biggest differentiating factor, the most important differentiating factor, the factor that makes Xbox Game Pass far better than any other subscription service out there. And that is the day one first party games, which is absolutely crazy to think about, because I mean, IGN, one of the biggest, if not the biggest video game website out there, misses the most important element when comparing these subscription services. So we go through here, you look at tiers: essential, extra, premium. Just has Game Pass for console and PC, has the pricing per month, that's all correct, has the price per year, no family plans, the additional perks that come with Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, depending on which tier you get. They talk about the access to older games, backwards compatibility stuff. I mean, the biggest difference between these is that the only way you can get access to older games on PlayStation Plus is through their subscription service. You have to subscribe to it if you want access to like the PS1, PS2, PSP, PS3 games. So that, I mean, is the big difference. And then everything else I talk about. Well, let's take a look at what people have to say about this on Twitter, because people definitely let them know that they were forgetting that. So here's the tweet itself. And they say this is how they stack up. This is how they compare, literally missing the biggest thing. Coldies with this chart probably took quite a while to compile and build, but it's missing the best part and the most prominent features of these services: day and date, first party exclusives. This person actually put in a fix for it with the day and date first party exclusives with the memes here at the bottom. Kind of funny. The memes the last couple of days for PlayStation Plus first Game Pass has been pretty funny. Everyone here is just letting them know that they've missed it. How are you going to leave out the biggest selling point for Game Pass and the biggest L for Spartacus? I would say Xbox exclusives are the weakest part of Xbox. Making them free doesn't make the games any better. Now you get a lot of these like bot accounts coming up with stuff like this. This is kind of just trying to convince themselves that Game Pass somehow isn't better than PlayStation Plus's offerings, which makes absolutely no sense. The person says Xbox perfected the subscription service formula. Objectively is the one that offers the best value in content, and then lists everything off there. Xbox Game Pass technically cost more. Okay, sure, per year it does cost more, but you're getting a lot more value in the service. And then if you're paying for the highest tier of PlayStation Plus, you only want to pay monthly. It costs more than Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is pretty absurd. A misleading graph. People have mentioned the graph omits day one first-party games plus some third-party day one indie games too. In addition, it implies the accessing of older titles are equal on both. They are not. Xbox has near native back compat via download. PS mostly stream only. Hey, that's true too. The backwards compatibility, no matter how we want to look at it, is not nearly equal. Xbox does it much better. So there's a lot of people calling them out, rightfully so. IGN being a massive website, you can't be missing things like this when you're doing a comparison between these subscription services if you're trying to give honest and truthful information to the tons and tons of people that visit the website on a daily basis. And I guess overall, my biggest takeaway with the announcement of these subscription service yesterday, which was the point I really tried to make in my video yesterday talking about it, was that Jim Ryan knows that they're going to be able to double dip on their customers, and they're going to try to just convert some of their customers over to these new tiers of PlayStation Plus, the higher tiers, to make some more money off them on a monthly basis, and then make that money off them with the first party releases. And that they don't want to take away that kind of feeling people have about PlayStation first party games, that they are of higher quality than anything else out there. And if you put them into a subscription service, I think that they are guessing that that will reduce people's thoughts on PlayStation games quality and I guess like prestige, that they have to be worth $70, which personally I think is ridiculous. I think that's a ridiculous way to think as a consumer, and you're not making any money off these corporations. I feel like you should want to be able to get the most value out of every dollar you're spending when you're buying video games. But that's my personal opinion, and I get other people will think differently. But I've also seen other people talk about how just Xbox is just under such a much bigger conglomerate, which Microsoft has billions of dollars that they can kind of spend in order to continue to put their games into Game Pass and not worry about potentially reducing some of the sales of their games, whereas PlayStation can't do that to the same extent that Microsoft can. However, with that argument, my feeling on that is that you do look at the sales of Xbox games that are day one on Game Pass, and the sales have been very strong. And I feel like as a company, you'd want to increase that subscription number as high as you can possibly go, because that's continuous revenue you're going to be able to make off your customers on a monthly basis, and you're going to keep them in your ecosystem once they're subscribed. They buy a game, they play it, you don't know where they go after that. With subscription, you're keeping them there. And I just think overall that is the better business strategy. And if PlayStation were to put their first party games into PlayStation Plus on day one, like what Xbox Game Pass is doing, I think they would just see their subscriptions just have a much bigger intake than they currently have. And then I think that they will get with these new tiers of PlayStation Plus. That's it for me, guys. What are your thoughts on MLB The Show getting a perk that incentivizes people to sign up to Xbox Game Pass to play it? What are your thoughts on Twitter coming back to the Xbox dashboard? And how do you think IGN forgot to incorporate the biggest differentiating factor between these subscription services, which is day and date first party Xbox games? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. You're new here, you enjoyed what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.